Hey everyone, welcome to a new video where I'll show you how to get the wand for World Edit. It's actually pretty simple. All we need is a wooden axe, which you can easily grab from the desk. This way, we'll get the tool we need. Alternatively, you can open the chat by pressing T, then type / and wand. Doing this will give you a wooden axe. I'll be showing you how to select an area using World Edit. To do this, we'll basically type / open the text box, type / wand, or simply get a wooden axe, whichever you prefer. Once we have this, what we're going to do is make sure we have / cell and set it to cuboid, which is what we want. From here we can choose what shape we want. We can only see the cuboid option now, but there are other shapes like sphere, convex, and so on. In my case, I'm going to select the cube because it's going to be much simpler and we'll be able to see it clearly. So what we're going to do is right click, and as you can see the text says cuboid, left click for point 1, right click for point 2. This means we'll use left click for the first selection and right click for the second selection. What's next? With the left click, we're going to select the starting point where we want our cube to begin, and with the right click we'll select the end point. If I've selected that cube and now this one with the right click, and what I'm doing is capturing this entire cube here. So it's really that simple. Just to show you again, it's this easy. Right click and left click, not much else to say. I'll be showing you how to view what you've selected in World Edit. It's actually quite simple. First, we need to have this cell configuration set up. Alright, cell is basically the way we want to select things, and we should choose cuboid. Got it? Once we've done this, to ensure we're definitely selecting in cuboid mode, we can right click and left click and we'll see this shape. But to see these little squares, well, what we need to do is type / draw cell, okay? As you can see, if I type it in or remove it, I can toggle the visibility of what we've marked, right? Also, with the appearance and disappearance of this object, we can also see the structure block, which is this block right here, okay? Here we have the structure block that this command works with, all right? There it is, and basically, if I remove the draw cell, I'll stop seeing it too, okay? I'm telling you this, so you know. So I'm going to teach you how to use the stack command. First of all, what the stack command does is take a structure that we have selected and copy it next to the original. Okay, to help you understand this better, let's do it like this. And you'll see that I have copied this structure many times. If I put in 30 now, it will also copy it 30 times. Well, not really, because there is a block limit, but this is basically so you can see how it works. So essentially, how does this command work? Got it? Oh, there you go. Now you see it. How does this command work? It's very simple. Basically, the first thing we're going to need is a structure. In my case, we're going to make one up. Let's make a structure, for example, here. And the structure is going to be essentially, let's say we want to make a kind of street light. And basically, you should create your own structure. From there, it's up to each of you to figure it out. I don't have many blocks to build it with, so you'll have to forgive me if it looks a bit rough. But anyway, let's do this. So first of all, what we need to do is select the structure. We'll do it like this. We'll put a block here and select this block here. As you can see, we now have the structure selected. This is the entire structure we want to copy. Now what we're going to do is type //. We'll type 2 forward slashes and then stack. So here, before we put back, down, east, and so on, what we want to specify is how many times we want this structure to be copied. For example, let's say we want to copy it once. And how do we want to position it? Do we want to place it diagonally, northeast, northwest, and so on? How can we see the coordinates? Well, with F3, we can see which direction we're facing. As you can see, it says facing north here. You see facing north, facing west, facing south, and facing east. It's shown here when you press F. So let's say we want to go north. So what we'll do going back to this is we're going to use the /stack command again. Let's say we want to copy one and we put north. We can click it and it will be placed. If we hit enter, it will copy automatically. It's that easy. We can put 100 if we want. This way we'd be copying the structures. We can obviously do this with much larger quantities. Now if I want to, for example, copy from this structure to here, let's see if, oh man, if I want to copy from this structure to this spot here and now, move all of this instead of 10 times, we'll move it to the east. I'm going to select it. As you can see, I can do this too. It's that simple. I'll show you how to copy a structure. For this, we'll need a wooden axe, so let's select it and put it in our inventory. Once we have this wooden axe, we're going to select the structure we want to copy. In this case, let's say we want to copy a tree, since it's a pretty common structure. To copy it, we're basically going to take a new tree. Let's use this one here. First, we'll clean up the perimeter to avoid copying any blocks we don't want. Then, we're going to take the axe and right click on one corner. Next, we'll right click on the opposite corner. As you can see, if we've used the /drowsel command, we'll be able to see the box containing the tree. So once we have this selected, what we're going to do is use the copy command. But it's very important that we use the copy command while we're in this position. For example, let's say when we place the tree, we want it to be copied from this corner over there. Or we might want it to be copied from the center of the structure. Let's assume we're using the center of the structure. So we're going to copy, and it's important that we're in this position. Why? Because if we're going to paste it now, once we've copied it and I use the paste command, it's going to paste exactly as I was viewing it. And you might say, I don't believe you. Let's say I copy it while I'm positioned below, and I use the copy command, and now I move up a bit, and pay attention. Use the paste command. What's going to happen? It's going to paste above me. There you have it. So just keep that in mind, because sometimes people don't use the command correctly and say it doesn't work well or it's not functioning properly. That's why it's because you need to copy it correctly with a reference point, and you are that reference point. So we copy again, and now we'd have the structure and we could keep pasting it. Note that no matter which way I'm looking, if I hit paste, it's going to paste behind me, because I repeat, you are the reference point. So not much else to say. Today I'll be showing you how to rotate a structure in WorldEdit. First things first, we need to have a structure copied, alright? So let's try to copy something that'll be noticeable when we rotate it, okay? Otherwise it wouldn't make much sense. So let's take this stick here as an example, cool? We're going to make a stick. Pay attention, okay? We'll make a straight stick like this one here, and we're going to select. We'll grab a wooden axe, right click, left click, and we'll have this selection made, as you can see. To be able to see it, we need to use the /Drowsel command, got it? This way we can see our selection if it's a cuboid, which is basically a cube. Alright, so once we have our selection, what we'll do is position ourselves here, okay? And copy from the side of the structure. It's important that we copy from where we want to rotate. In other words, if we want this to be the center point of rotation, we'll position ourselves here. If we want the center point to be this one, we'll position ourselves here, and so on. So I'm going to position myself here. This will be the center point, and I'm going to use the bar copy command. Once I've copied, I'm going to rotate. So we'll use the bar rotate command. And what's going to happen? We're going to be rotating a copy of this, okay? This means it's copied based on our reference object. What does that mean? We are the reference object in terms of distance. If I copy from here, if I do bar copy from here because I'm lazy, what's going to happen is that when I do bar paste, this will happen. It's going to paste there at that distance. Do you see? It has been pasted. So we probably don't want that. Instead, what we'll do is copy from here so that when we do bar paste, it copies here. Do you see it? There it is. So what are we going to do now? Now we're going to use the rotate command, and we'll decide how many degrees we want to rotate. We can choose between 90, 180, or 270 degrees. Let's select 90 degrees and then use the paste command. As you can see, our structure has been copied and rotated 90 degrees to the right. If we repeat this process, rotate, paste, we'll have our structure copied on all sides. That's how you rotate a structure in New Alt Edit. I've explained it in very simple terms. I'm sure you have much more complex structures, but the principle remains the same. Not much else to add. I'll be showing you how to replace blocks in WorldEdit. For example, let's say we have this entire field and we want to replace just the oak wood with another type of wood. The first thing we're going to do is select this area. We'll do this using an axe. We'll left click to select the first corner, then move to the opposite corner of the area we want to select and right click. As you can see, we now have this entire area selected. It's important to have /Drowsel enabled so you can see what you've selected. Keep in mind that Drowsel only works with cubes, specifically 48x48x48 cubes, as shown in the chat. Now that we have this area selected, we're going to use the replace command. We'll type /replace, and then we'll tell it to replace this would be wood from. Alright, let's hit enter. This is oak wood. So we're going to type oak _. Let's see what else. Oak love. And let's say we want acacia, for example, love. As you can see, now all the oak wood has been replaced with acacia. If I put this back here and enter it again, you'll see it gets replaced. Now, if I want to use diamond blocks instead of acacia, I can do that. I should select acacia instead. If I tell it to replace acacia _ love with diamond blocks, it'll do that too. We'll be explaining how to randomize structures, or more accurately, fields in WorldEdit. It's important to note that this trick works with almost all commands, this randomizer technique. Sometimes we want to select an area, let's say from here to here, and we want all of this to be sponges, for example. So what we'll do is type /set sponge, and this will fill the entire area with sponges. But let's say we want it to be stone, or maybe a mix of stone and granite. Well, it's as simple as doing it like this. We just list the elements one after another, And this way it'll randomize them, as you can see. It's going to randomize the creation we have, the field. But suppose we want to have more stone than other elements. Well, what we're going to do is put 90% in front of stone. What does this mean? We're going to have 90% stone. And these commas here, what's between the blocks, are commas. We'll have 90% stone, and the rest will be granite, diorite, and cobblestone. If we want to have 30% stone, the rest will be, as I mentioned, granite, diorite, and cobblestone. Something important to note is that the inside is also randomized, which I want you to understand clearly. On the other hand, if we want to specify, for example, that we want 30% stone, but also 30% granite, we can do that too. If we also want 20% diorite, that would be 30 plus 30, which is 60 plus 20, which is 80, and the remaining 20% would be cobblestone. If I set more than 20% for the last option, the game won't care about the excess. In any case, I always recommend setting it to a total of 100% because otherwise you'll lose track of the total amount. Basically, the game doesn't really understand percentages. It just sees that out of every 30 plus 30 plus 20 plus 25, 25% should be cobblestone. That's how the game works. It doesn't calculate based on 100%, but on the total number you give it. So you should keep that in mind. Not much else. Showing you how to fill areas using the world edit mode. So to get started, we're going to use an axe. We'll be using a wooden axe. And of course, you need to have the mod installed first. What we're going to do is select an area. To do this, we'll use right click and left click. Let's say we want to fill in this area here. Sorry, let me clear that. We want to select from this point here to this point here, and we want to make it all grass. We're going to flatten it out. So what we'll do is select this area. To see the selected area, we need to use the /draw command. This will show us what we've selected. If it's a cube, what we'll do is use the /set command, and this way we can set it to, for example, grass. So we're going to hit enter, and this way we'll be able to see, well, in this case it's giving me, literally grass, which is the herb, but what we want is the grass block. So we're going to type // grass block, and there it is. Now we've filled the entire area with grass blocks, plus we have a ton of seeds, so it's that easy. Just as you can use the fill command, you can also place sponges. There you have it. You can also place stone. You can place whatever you want. I'll be showing you how to undo and redo your actions in World Edit. So, for example, I've been modifying this area here, right? And I've made a few mistakes while filling in this area, you know? This area used to be, it wasn't complete, you see? So let's say we want to undo my actions, okay? I filled it with grass and now I don't have the original structure anymore, got it? I don't have the structure saved anymore, but I have it here. And I want to go back to what I had before. Well, what we're going to do is obviously, this step we've done here should be the last step we've taken. Otherwise, this won't work, alright? And what we're going to do is use /undo. And what we're going to do is roll back the last steps we've done with the axe, okay? There you have it. As you can see, we've literally returned to the initial structure we had in the world, right? This is the structure that the world literally had by default. And if we want to go forward again, what we need to do is /redo, okay? We use redo, and this way we can bring back the changes we've made. Obviously, for this to work, we need to have made changes in the first place, got it? Keep in mind that the redo will only work after we've done an undo, alright? The undo would be like undoing something, you see? And the redo would be redoing it, understand? In other words, undoing something or redoing something, okay? Where I'll be showing you how to create walls like these using World Edit. So, the first thing we need to do is have a selected area, alright? As you can see, we can make walls like these, okay? Now, first things first, we're going to select an area where we want to place these walls. And let's say I want to put it from here to, for example, here. And what we're going to do is fill in this area, okay? I don't have it right now, okay? But if we did, it would already be there. So we're going to fill it with grass blocks, for example. And what we're going to do is say, hey, I want the wall to go from here, alright? I want it to start here and end at this height, got it? So where is the wall going to start filling in? To basically see these types of cubes, what we need to do is use the /drowsel command, okay? To toggle the visibility of these cubes, basically the wall will only be filled in this part here, okay? It'll also be filled to this height, filling only the walls, so to speak. What we're going to do is use the /walls command, and from here we can select what type of block we want to fill with. Let's say we want to use stone. Do we want anything besides stone? Well, we can add a comma and put cobblestone, for example, as another element. This way we'll have walls that are filled with different blocks. Let's say we also want to add some granite, okay? But we want very little granite, right? So we want, for example, 1 out of every 100 blocks to be granite. So we're going to put 1% in front of granite, and basically we're also going to be putting, in front of stone, we're going to put 50% stone and 50% cobblestone and 1% granite. As you can see, 1 out of every few blocks is going to be granite. If I now add, let's say, 1% diorite, you'll see a diorite block pop up every now and then. If I put... There was another one, 1% of dite. To be honest, I can't remember. There was another one, but... Andesite, that's it. Andesite, right? And this way, we're adding some variety to our structure, you see? So let's go with mossy, and cobblestone, for example. This gives us a much more diverse structure, much more appealing, and not much else to add, okay? I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you in future videos. Bye bye!